Right.
I started an apprenticeship there.
Yeah.
And then I went to sea.
To sea,
I spent a couple of years when I was shipping, tramping the world.
Well, that was interesting to say, was it? A bit of a tramping.
That's right. We went all over. So I went to Australia a few times, and on one occasion we went into Geraldton, where May Shaw.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
And they gave us a huge party in the convent there, you know. And I endowed those nuns teaching in schools out the bush, and I got the designation. I got the designation as an inspector going into the schools. For so they told the kids that I was an inspector, so the kids behaved themselves.
Okay.
And I got great.
And what age would you have been at the time, Tom?
In my early 20s.
Okay.
I finished apprenticeship when I was
But you weren't married. You hadn't married Sheila at that stage.
Oh no, I was. I was at sea for a couple of years, and then where did I go? During my time, I was seconded to Battersea Power Station in London to get steam turbine experience. You know, it features a lot now in the NAMA.
That's right.
Where the what they call the Treasury Holdings bought the.
It's a listed building now.
The list, it's a magnificent building.
Yeah.
You know, it's all very close to me because I had a great time there. For 6 months.
Thomas in Battersea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Battersea.
Okay, that's where Martin.
And I tell you, this was my first experience of England. I was sent over there to, as I say, to get steam turbine experience, and I wasn't there very long, maybe a month or two, when Maureen was getting married. And 3 English blokes came to me and said, "Are you all right for money, Tom?" And you know, I could have said no. I got money, and they drove me to Heathrow and everything to go.
Oh really? It's fabulous, isn't it? For the wedding, so you get there for the wedding.
That was my introduction, if you like, to the English. They were fabulous, and I had a bloke helping me. I was, I was a senior engineer, if you like, in that, and I had this bloke who used to carry the tool bag around, and he had served in the 8th Army in the desert.
Oh wow! Fantastic stories.
But I mean, I felt, I was only Garsoon, and there was this man who had gone through the desert, and it's like. I said, how could they treat such men, after fighting, in such a war, that they came back and they got jobs, but I mean, but anyhow, I spent my time there, and then while I was there, I used to buy I saw always read the Daily Telegraph. That was my favourite paper. So I saw this ad for junior managers for Unilever. It was a subsidiary of Unilever at that time. It was the United Africa Company. So I applied for that. So I got it, and the next thing I was in Africa. So, that's how I.
And that was for 25 years, was it? Or were you in Africa for 25 years? No.
I was in Africa for the best part of 25 years. Yeah.
And was it mainly in Nigeria, or did you travel around?
I started in Ghana. I was in Ghana for.
Kumasi, was it?
For 61 to 66, I think it was. And then down to Nigeria. It's transferred to me because there's huge interest all over Africa. I was in Nigeria. From 1966 to 73 or something. 72, 73. Went to transferred to Sierra Leone. I was in Sierra Leone from 73 to 80. Transferred back to Nigeria from 80 to I retired, I think, in 84, 85.
And were the 3 lads actually all born out in Africa?
No, Tony was the eldest, was born in Cork, the Monsecure.
Okay.
And Anne was born in the first Catholic mission hospital that was established in Nigeria.
Okay.
And Neve was born in a hospital in Lagos, private hospital.
Okay.
a doctor that qualified in Trinity.
And were you there for any of the births? Do you know the way now? Oh, yeah, you were.
No, I wasn't present.
No.
Well, that wasn't the kind of...
No, I was going to say nowadays, like, it's kind of the norm, yeah.
Thanks be to God for that.
There's a lot with you on that side.
No, I wasn't. But the place that Sheila said, like, the first Tony was born in Bonsuture's in Cork, and Anne was born in, say, the Catholic Mission Hospital out in the bush, way out in the bush in Nigeria. And she said if she was to have a dozen children, that's where she'd have them.
Oh, wow. Wow, she was so looked after so well.
There was doctors and nurses and like Mission.
I know. I suppose she was lucky too that it was at the beginning of something when they maybe had the resources as well.
Well, no,
maybe not. No.
It was the end.
It was the end.
The end happened. Was near the end of the hospital.
Okay.
Sheila, like, it was against company. It was against company policy to allow a white woman, if like one of the wife of an expatriate man, to have give birth in West Africa. I mean, they'd have flown Sheila home and
I know, looked after her.
paid for maternity and everything, but things were changing a bit in Africa at the time, and you know, the air conditioning was becoming widespread, and like, you know, there was better medical facilities, all that kind of thing. This was now before Africa went downhill rapidly, but there was then, like in Nigeria, they had the first civilian government, and that only lasted a few years, and they killed each other. There was terrible.
Was that the Biafran War, were you?
Huh?
Was that the Biafran War?
No, the Biafran
No,
War
mind you, would you mind closing the door? Good lad.
I
I know, but I don't hear her.
lived through the Biafran War.
No, I don't hear
I was involved in. Life is funny. By then I had progressed fairly well in the company, and I was responsible for dealing with the military during a part of the Biafran War, supplying. We had a very large manufacturing facility, as well as we were the agent, like, for General Motors, Bedfords and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And we assembled a lot of them, and we distributed with a large distribution network. So it was a pretty large complex, but like the manufacturing wing of it was vital to the federal government during the war, for the manufacture of all sorts of. So you get orders like this. Is a fact. I mean, there was a time now when Britain lost a fortune because of strikes and labour problems and whatnot. We get orders from the army because we had the military truck. The Bedford was the military truck in the Western world, like outside America. And we get orders maybe 1,000 vehicles like that at a time. And you know, we couldn't supply maybe we might supply 500 out of that. You get orders, and anyway, kept going like that. But like, we made an awful lot of money out of what we did, but we could have made, and so